What's good, folks? And this y'all speaks. Hopefully y'all are doing great out your way. Bit of a different style of video. I had a friend of mine that actually works out at one of the gyms that I work out at, and he was like, so what are your thoughts on the Jeff Nippard, Mike Van Wyck situation? Have you talked about it yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. Haven't made a video about it or anything, so why not? Let's bring it to the channel here. Let's talk about what went down. So if you have been living under a rock, or you're somebody that just doesn't really follow fitness too much on social media, last week, Jeff Nippard, which is a very popular YouTuber who is well known in the fitness community, specifically the science-based portion of the fitness community, he was assaulted in his gym by an ex-bodyguard of Drake, if I'm not mistaken, by the name of Mike Van Wyck. So, just to give just a brief synopsis, Mike Van Wyck made a video basically saying, why in the world do people overcomplicate fitness with all of these scientific formulas and these mathematics about precision as far as how much muscle you can gain, and just being so specific about putting science with fitness, which I don't really see a problem with. And then he goes on to basically say that people who are science-based, who work out and utilize those formulas, don't really have a lot of gains, like they're really small. So this guy is about, what, 6'3", probably well over 300 pounds. Remember, he was a former bodyguard. Big dude. And Jeff Nippard is about 5'5", 170, 180 pounds, give or take. So Jeff Nippard, makes a video basically, answering the question of Mike, saying, people who have followed the formulas for science-based fitness has made great gains and gotten great results. And it's true. There's a lot of people who have implemented fitness and science together and have really saw great results. I personally, I like the scientific portions of fitness that some people like Jeff Nippard and many others out there who have decided to take that blueprint and apply it to fitness, because I'm a precision guy. I really like to know specifics. I really like to know data and all of that good stuff. But Mike's point was that people just don't go in the gym and lift, be meatheads and just get in, no data, don't write things down, just pick stuff up, put things down type of mindset. So we fast forward to them meeting in the gym, and apparently Mike does not like the video that Jeff put out, and which I didn't really see a problem with it. And he walks over to Jeff and pushes him on the ground. Okay, so what are my thoughts on that situation? Number one, keep your hands to yourself. I don't feel like anybody should be touching anybody unless you ready to be touched yourself. Now, there's a lot of people out there that feel like, oh, press charges and sue and all that other type of stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just my upbringing. I grew up in the hood. So the last thing I'm thinking about is calling the cops. I'm about to call these hands. That's what we're going to do. And then may the best man win. And we just going about our day. I don't really know if Jeff is pursuing any legal action. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he did. Being much older now, I can't remember how old Jeff is. I really don't know. I'm not sure. He's probably in his early 30s. He's got to be in his early 30s. Don't know how he handled the situation, but I do know that I don't agree with Mike putting his hands on Jeff over a video. I think that's stupid. I think that it's wrong to attack people off of an opinion. We all are free to think the way that we want to think, to react the way we want to react, to have a perspective, and we shouldn't have to worry about being assaulted or worse because of our words. You know, I feel like Mike is a big dude, but he is very sensitive, real sensitive, very fragile, and not that tough of a guy, if you ask me, to be about 6'3", 300+ pounds, knocking down the guy that's 5'5", 180 pounds, soaking wet. Like, I don't really see the masculinity in that. I don't see the macho in this and that. I think it's a coward move. I feel like if Jeff Nippard was about his height, his size, he wouldn't have reacted that way. But he felt like he could get away with it because he was a much bigger guy. He knew that Jeff didn't really stand a chance against him, which he doesn't. However, I don't know how you can be proud of that. You feel me? The reaction with this story is interesting to me because there are some people that are actually in favor of what Mike did, saying, yeah, you know, he deserves it, and this is what happens when you meet people. Like, when you talk trash on the internet and they meet you in real life, this is what happens. You know, that keyboard warrior getting what he deserves type of mindset those people have who feel like Mike assaulting him was justified. And no, it wasn't justified. I don't feel like Jeff Nippard is a keyboard warrior. I don't feel like he said anything disrespectful. I don't feel like he did anything wrong. And I don't feel like he should have been assaulted at the end of the day. Now, I get it. If Jeff was talking about, you know, harming my man Mike or talking about his family or something like that, and then you called him out in the open, that's a whole other story. But there was none of that going on. So, again, completely uncalled for, completely a big L, in my opinion. You don't touch people, man. Don't put your hands on people for no reason. And especially if no one put their hands on you. That's the type of person I am. I don't go around starting trouble with nobody. I don't go around looking for trouble. I don't look for fights. I just don't think it's right at all. So that's an L on Mike. And whatever happens, happens. Whatever the consequences that he needs to suffer, he just needs to suffer them, because you messed up, bro, when you put your hands on him. And shout out to Jeff Nippard for restraining himself, because some of us wouldn't have been able to get knocked down like that and not do nothing. Like I said, I'm not the type of guy to call the police. I don't ever think to call the cops in any type of situation. Like, if I feel like I'm in danger, I got something to extinguish that fire. Let's just put it like that. And then we can just, you know, cops gonna get involved anyway at some point, but that'll be after the fact of me defending myself. I do feel like Jeff should have defended himself at least, but that's just me. But all right, folks, tell me what y'all think down in the comment section. Do y'all feel like what Mike did was justified, or do you feel like it was an L move? Do you feel like Jeff Nippard is overreacting with the science-based stuff and that somebody needs to put him in his place? Or do you feel like he didn't do anything wrong and didn't deserve what happened to him? I would love to hear your thoughts. If you're new here, comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.